sometimes because it's like, no, this is what the word says. But anyway, but that's all fun, and you know what I mean, just to be able to get challenged and to challenge others in the faith, because that's what it's about. So I appreciate these ministers, these brothers that I could really say that are in the Lord rocking with me because they serious about this thing. You know, a lot of times it's so easy when you are just like engaging someone like a Jehovah's Witness or somebody that's really not in the faith, and you just kind of win arguments. I know that from doing apologetics and whatnot. And it's easy to win arguments. But one thing that a lot of people forget is that we have eternity in view. As Christians, of course, and even non-Christians, we will live forever. So when you look at people, you have to look at them in this scope, that they have an eternity as well. So don't be so quick to just brush aside someone that is not a believer or someone that just won't listen to you. Just plant the seed, because you never know what God's going to do. You know what I'm saying? And love people. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to love those that love you. Jesus said that. You know what I'm saying? But it's not so easy for you to love an enemy, especially an enemy of the cross. You know, we ought to have patience. It's one of the fruit of the Spirit, right? Patience. Right. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, that long suffering is very important because they have an eternity or an eternal destiny. So things have started to change in my heart years ago when I looked at people not just as a person, but looked at them as an eternal being that are going to spend eternity somewhere. We all have to face that. And so it's very important for us to get this. Get it right. The Old Testament, we understand what all the sacrifices meant. It was a foreshadow pointing to Jesus Christ, right? And it had to be without spot or blemish. Now, sometimes I'm in trouble for asking this question, but I have to. I asked my wife one time, well, if all God needed was a perfect sacrifice, then how come he just couldn't send Michael the archangel wrapped in human flesh? Why come he had to send Jesus? How come he couldn't send like Gabriel or like one of those prominent angels that we look at as, yeah, man, those are the real deal. Those are the tough guys. Those are the soldiers, the real robbers, God's hitters. You know what I'm saying? How come he couldn't send one of them? If all he needed was a sinless sacrifice. Anybody know the question? Or anybody know the answer to that question?
He did it himself.
He did it himself? But why did he, I'm saying, like, why did he need to send his son Jesus Christ instead of someone else in the heavenly realms that actually could have died for our sin? Well, I'll just shorten this up and say this. Because you and I have sinned against the eternal God. We have never sinned against creation. Michael is a creation, you know, and Gabriel is a creation. Jesus Christ was created in his humanity, we know that. But he's truly God and truly man. So since our sin offends the eternal God, then the payment for that sin is eternal punishment. Because that's justice with God. And who am I or who are you to argue with him? So thank God that he sent his eternal son incarnated, like it says in the book of Isaiah, Emmanuel, God with us. So only God could send his son Jesus Christ, who is co-equal with the Father, to die on the behalf of the sinners of his people and remove their sins eternally.
That's right.
So I thank God that these sins are removed eternally, and because I have the imputed righteousness of Christ, that changes my life, because all of my sin was imputed to him, and that's why he was crushed. That's why he had to suffer the grave and the wrath of his Father, and 3 days later rose. To some of y'all, this is maybe a new perspective. For some of y'all, you guys already know this is just gospel.
That's right.
So now I can come boldly before the throne of God on my knees because Jesus Christ made that possible. We don't have to have priests